In 1872, a geyser, which is a vent in the Earth's surface that periodically ejects a column of hot water and steam, was formed in Chelan Falls. The water that was emitted from the geyser squirted about 9 meters into the air, resulting in a permanent springs. In 2001, due to the Nisqually earthquake, there was 1 dead and 400 injuries. The earthquake lasted approximately 45 seconds with a magnitude of 6.8. All of the property damage was extremely close to the epicenter. As the surrounding buildings crumbled to the ground, the debris destroyed nearby parked cars.
The Pacific Northwest is a boundary for 3 tectonic plates: the Pacific Plate, the Juan de Fuca Plate, and the North American Plate. The Pacific Plate moves about 3 to 4 inches per year, the North American Plate moves about 1 inch per year, and the Juan de Fuca Plate is moving northeast about 1.6 inches per year and is the subduction zone with the North American Plate. Seismic activity occurs along this subduction zone, causing earthquakes for the Washington area. This happens because pressure builds up along the subduction zone, and when the energy is finally released, it can cause up to an M9 earthquake for an area that large. However, this does not occur very often and only happens about every 550 years for that amount of pressure to build up.
On April 29, 1965, a 6.5 magnitude earthquake hit Washington. The earthquake resulted in the death of 3 people. Fires broke out in the city from gas pipes being cracked. Railroad tracks were thrown off, causing traffic to be delayed for several days for repair. The telegraph system was also interrupted, causing loved ones to panic. The ginormous earthquake was felt in surrounding states and Canada. This was the largest and most devastating earthquake Washington had to date.
Reducing the impact of earthquakes in Washington can be done through awareness, practice, and building remodeling. There are many ways to inform the people about earthquakes and what to do in the case of one. Shakeout is an awareness program that takes place in Washington and the rest of the western United States to teach their members about these hazards. As of today, 743,848 people in Washington are participating in the Shakeout program. Timothy Melbourne, professor and geological science director at the Cascade Hazards Institute, talked at an awareness seminar about his work with GPS receivers. These receivers measure the distance from each other every day, which helps geologists study the movement of plate tectonics. Then, they can inform the people of Washington about hazardous areas.
In examination of the Washington area in regards to earthquake occurrences, one can see that earthquakes are quite common, particularly near the coastal edge of the state, and this is not going to change anytime soon. Washington has been hit several times by earthquakes of major magnitudes, 7.3, 6.5, and 7.0 respectively, and the hits will continue to come. As noted above, scientists believe a devastating earthquake is due to occur at any moment in a very large fault called the Cascadia subduction zone. This would spell certain disaster for the inhabitants and other elements that occur in this area. When looking at this approaching threat, as well as the history of earthquakes in the Washington area, being prepared for the future is critical. Information, and more importantly, its distribution, are critical. By allowing the community at large to have the insight and awareness of impending possible disasters, they can take steps to avoid meeting tragic ends. Outside of awareness, building improvements and being aware of hazardous areas are both helpful ways to prepare and reduce the impact of future earthquakes. All in all, Washington has a flurry of activity in regards to earthquakes, and this is nature at work. However, to coexist peacefully within nature, we are bound by our own moral duty to adapt and prepare to nature's own processes, and in turn, allow future generations to thrive.